Sup? Today, we're prepping an engine.
To do that properly, we have to clean every internal component. Any remnant from the machine shop, any old oil gunk, any particulates will inevitably find their way into the oil pickup tube and cause wear on my freshly built baby. I cannot have this cutie blow up on me. We'll start with the foundation of the whole engine, the block. Now, it's back from the machine shop and all the cylinder bores and mating surface for the head gasket is looking beautiful. Obviously, it's a little hard to see right now because I have this thing submerged in evaporust. Why, you ask? Well, because the engine block had more rust than the donor car's subframe. The block is cast iron and from the factory had a finish not dissimilar to powder coating. As the coating began to fail, the salt from these very rough Canadian winters got in and the rust began to spread. Now that it's been marinating for a couple weeks, let's pick it up and get this bad boy on an engine stand and take a closer look.
Now, cast iron is heavy. Fortunately, I am oh so strong. Problem is, I did throw out my back. We're gonna pop it on these hockey pucks, we're gonna mount it to the engine stand, and we'll get a closer look. Wish me luck. Oh yeah! Oh, that stuff stinks. Should have thought this through. Gross. Oh well. No harm, no foul. Easy peasy. Now, I like to play a game called What's the Worst That Could Happen? And right now, it's me solo picking this up, the engine stand rolling away, and kind of being stuck in no man's land. Let's butt the end of this onto something. No garage is complete without hockey pucks and pieces of wood. Okay. At least we have a different handle now. Muscle it up.
Now that we can get a closer look at this thing, it looks like the evaporust actually dealt with most of the rust, which saves me a lot of time and most importantly a lot of elbow grease. As you can see, there's a fair amount of sludge left over, so what I want to do now is give this engine a nice clean and we'll see what we're working with. In keeping the theme of what's the worst that can happen, the last thing we want is for flash rust to form in the cylinder bores. Now I keep this from happening by thoroughly drying the block and applying some fogging oil. If flash rust is to form, it would jeopardize the hone, the fresh hone, and then the piston rings won't seat properly. So we do a little precaution here to keep it nice and rust free.
Obviously, we don't want a bunch of crap getting into the engine that we just cleaned. So I'm gonna mask off all the openings before going to town with the Dremel. Okay, great. Obviously, I'm not gonna make you watch all that. Just know that my back hurts. The block has been rinsed down with acetone. We're gonna do a quick remask for everything, and then it'll be time to hit it with some paint.
It's actually super easy. We'll hit the block with a couple coats of black epoxy primer, and since we want to keep the engine black, we'll go straight from this to a couple more coats of 2K clear. The sad part here is that once everything is buttoned up, including the accessories, the intake plenum, the exhaust manifold, the block's not really visible, but we'll have the satisfaction of knowing that it's nice and clean.
Well, that took all day, and we certainly weren't expecting that, but that's okay because the block is now rust-free, painted, it looks good, and with the machined and washed head, it's gonna look like a brand new engine. Really excited about that, but that's just the block. There's so much more to clean. We've got the pistons, we've got the main caps, we've got the cam retainers, we've got the oil pump. The Vanos needs to be rebuilt, and that'll be a future episode. We'll deal with that then. But that's enough for one day. We'll come back tomorrow and start cleaning all the little things. We are back, baby! Okay, today, Christian's Cleaning Corner. We've got connecting rods, we've got pistons, wrist pins, rod caps? That's what they're called. Yeah. We've got valve springs, we've got valves, we've got piston squirters, we've got the works. So, get some caffeine, let's rock and roll.
Gone forever?
Incoming.
And just like that, the caps are clean, the connecting rods are clean, the wrist pins are clean, the pistons have been degreased. But as you can see, there's still a fair amount of carbon on the surface, so we'll take the next little bit to get those polished up. But in the meantime, it's time for a quick story. So I actually bought this car from a guy who bought it from a girl who bought it from another guy. Now, while the gender doesn't matter, what does matter is the sequence. I had the opportunity to go and speak to the girl before she rudely rejected my lowball offer and sold it to the guy. What's interesting is both the girl And the guy I inevitably bought it from said that the previous owner took care of the rod bearings and the vanos. Sadly, without getting into the engine, there's no way of knowing. Now, I'm certainly not accusing anyone of anything, but would you look at that wear, especially on the upper shells? Cylinder 3 is even showing signs of copper. Now, when we look at the markings on both the bearings and the hardware, both show signs of being OEM. One of two things happened. Either these never got replaced, and it was a game of broken telephone with each person thinking the previous owner had taken care of it, or someone did go in, change the rod bearings with OEM parts, which is not unheard of, but this wear is worrisome, so I'm really glad we got in here and we're able to refresh everything. So the lesson here is, if you're buying a car, especially an M car that's known for rod bearing issues, if they don't have receipts of the service from a reputable shop, just assume that you have to do it and allocate some budget for that. Turning our attention to the main bearings, certainly nowhere near as bad as the rod bearings, but it is showing signs of wear. And while we're in here, we'll replace these with some ACL units and we'll be good as new.
Okay, let's take apart the oil pump. Now, full transparency, I took out this C-clip before I pressed record. It flew away. I'll never find it again. Shot right out. Counter thread. Why didn't I just get a socket? That would have been a lot easier. Just get a socket. Okay, honestly, not bad at all. No scoring. Wow, okay. Okay.
Now this is the seemingly endless cycle of putting every internal component in a bag, mixing that with some metal safe degreaser and popping it in the ultrasonic cleaner. But I do think the results speak for themselves. As a final bit of cleaning, we get to tackle the raw aluminum accessories of this engine, which is super exciting for me because I get to show you my vapor honing machine. Do I have one? Do I have one? Do I have one?
You tell me if I have one. This one's a little bit more manual, but we got degreaser, we got a brush, we got a steam cleaner. What's the difference? Fun fact about this particular vapor honing cabinet, my wife and I got married underneath it. And if she sees me doing this kind of work in this kind of shirt, it might be the end of me.
As a final step to my vapor honing, and probably the most controversial step, I want all the raw aluminum looking new. And normally I'm against altering the finish. This is a resin-based product specifically made for aluminum to restore the finish and make it more resistant to chemicals and marring in the future. I think it's a perfectly viable option. Let me know in the comments. And the results make me happy. When this goes back together, it's going to look brand new, it's going to run brand new. I'm super excited. And now, while I leave you with some before and afters, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, I kindly ask you to do so. The next time you'll see me, we're gonna put this bad boy together.